while we're waiting here, we have new orders that we can pick from. So let's take a look. One option is to help out the beaver population by having 10 beavers and having beaver resolve above 24 for 30 seconds. This would give us access to lumber mill as well, which we are kind of eyeing at the moment. Or the other option is to complete at least one event by making a decision of empathy. But all of those bonuses that we would get are kind of temporary. But the parts, the lumber mill and the goods all sound brilliant. And we already have like 6 beavers, so let's pick this one. Let's help out the beaver population. Now, before we get to the last order, let's take a look at what Zorg has to offer us. Oh no. Zorg, where are your tools? We just wanted one tool and you bring none? Oh my, you disappoint us. Okay, so we have 10 amber. Is there something that we really want for that amber? So the upgrades that we can get are, well, for farmers, for fishing, and also bakery. Bakery is quite nice, but 22 amber we don't really have realistic ways of getting that. So it seems to be that Zorg is disappointing us, yeah. That is a little bit unfortunate. I was already so excited about getting the last tool that we need and resolving the termite event, but it's okay. We'll have to find some other ways. The thing with the food situation is that we have 75 food, out of which 20 is biscuits. Not great. So maybe if we were to ask Zorg for some food. Let's put in our 10 amber. Let's check. Perhaps we'll grab some fish. Everybody should be happy about fish, right? 27 fish will help us get a little bit further when it comes to food. But now we need some other option to resolve our glade event. So there is this option. Actually, let's check our orders for a moment. There is an option to get some extra tools just by selling goods worth at least 12 amber to traders. We did for 10. We used our amber for that. We also need 7 amber. Okay, Zorg, I'm just gonna negotiate with you a little bit more, but seems like, yeah, it's a bit... It's not achievable. We cannot do this this objective right away. And that is the only objective that gives us boxes of tools besides one of these that we can pick going forward. So, risky expedition or important delivery? I must say risky expedition is way easier to achieve and important delivery is much more profitable because of these wildfire essences. But 3 dangerous glades. That would require us to speed up things quite a bit. So that might not be a bad thing, to be fair. Yeah, let's try to do the risky expedition. It's just this burrow. What was the bad thing that happens? It destroys all stored building materials if we don't solve this event right away. And if we got a few extra parts, we might be able to solve it using those parts. But again, the parts are also not easy to get when you look at our orders. So most likely we will be taking a look at producing this tool ourselves, because we did have an option to grab a building carpenter specifically. That will give us access to having the ability to make tools. It either will require copper bars or crystallized dew, but we have some crystallized dew from the trees. Yes, we shall do it. Sorry, lumber mill, but you will be obtained through orders anyway. Now regarding the next choice, we are not in a rush. So we will build our carpenter to make us some sweet tools. Where do we put you? The lumber... Well, the woodcutter's camp is right on the way, but luckily enough trees have been felled that we can move the woodcutter camps to the best place. Now, carpenter. I think we should turn you around a little bit and put you right next to the main warehouse. Don't have a worker for you at the moment. But the next group of newcomers will arrive in 7 minutes. Probably grab one worker. Let's take a quick look at where everybody's working at. So probably Harvester's camp is the likeliest candidate, but first of all, let's let that one builder build the carpenter. Maybe they will be actually working there, because we don't have too much to do for them anyway after this carpenter is done. But yeah, if nobody else gives us tools, like the trader that just was too lazy to bring some along. Sorry, Zork. Just no offense, please, but next time just bring at least one tool. That will help us tremendously. We don't have to use our blueprint for that, and then also crystallized dews, etc. Now, while this carpenter is being built, let's have tools enabled. We will not limit the tools. We will use the crystallized dew for building them, plus not planks, but just wood. Yeah, it's already going up. So once it is done, we'll get our tools, and then we need some people to actually start working on the burrow. Yeah, it looks like this was a relatively low risk, dangerous glade. Well, the risk was there, but turned out to be that it's not very high, with a high impact or potential losses, which is a good thing, of course. But makes me want to open up already the next one. But easy there, because we're lacking kind of people at the moment to work on various aspects of our settlement. Okay, so the carpenter is ready. Beavers would really like to work here, but we'll have the lone lizard do the carpeting aspect. But probably what we want to also do is just disable planks from the crude workstation and enable them in the carpenter, because they will be using up way less wood. And the crude workstation itself, it's 8 versus 5 logs per 2 planks. So you can see the lizard is doing what? They're making us the 2 tools. Well, one will be extra. In the meantime, I want to check out where do we get all the crystallized dews from, because it must be one of these, yeah, muscle sprout trees. Look, the nastiest trees on the map in this biome. But yeah, those dews will be very useful, because we can open up all of these caches for Queen's Grace, giving us reputation, helping us cement the settlement of Marchmellow in history. Is there anything else we can do while we're waiting here? Because we don't have any free hands to build. We have enough shelters for everyone. The food will last until the end of the upcoming storm at least, which will arrive in around 1.5 minutes. And we still have some time. Well, not that much time until we have to start the glade event. But do keep in mind, if you put 2 workers here, it will be less than 5 minutes. It will be like 4 or 4:30. Hopefully for like 4 minutes. So this lizard is done with the tools. Let's take a look at where they are. Please move the tools into the warehouse. And I think we'll grab a few of the beavers from the woodcutters camps to do the burrow event. So yeah, we have the tools now. We'll grab the beavers. Let's tame. Let's go. Yeah, 4 minutes. Perfect. We'll make it on time. Now, our network has been a little bit behind our woodcutting stuff. So we'll expand it as far as we can. You can also see that the trading post is on our way. We did not want to happen. Now it's better. Okay, let's build a little bit of an extra path here. When it comes to hostility, we haven't been too aggressive. We're still at level 1. Exactly where we want to be at this point. And when it comes to the woodcutters, just cut towards the west of the encampment, because we want to open up this dangerous glade next. Okay, the storm is here. The lizards seem to be unhappy again. Ah, because the stone-tooth swarm is affecting them, isn't it? So there was this -5 to global resolve. Can we survive this? We'll have to see. Let's give the lizards a moment to show how negative they would like to go with the current setup. Okay, so relatively negative. If we were to prefer them, that would not help us much. But if we were to lower the hostility by burning some logs, then we would kind of get there. I still want to keep the woodcutters camps going throughout the storm, because we want to get closer to the next dangerous glade. So we have around 110 logs. They're going down relatively fast. Keep in mind, one more trick we can use is that to have one of the lizards to be the firekeeper in the hearth. But it depends on how long they get into the 0 resolve. Yeah, it seems like we might have to switch things around here. So one lizard was... Okay, they're making tools. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna disrupt you at the moment. I will take the one that's in the small trapper's camp. Let's switch it around with the human. Yeah, and they're all of a sudden really happy. Can we actually stop sacrificing? No, we cannot. Okay, so this is still necessary, the sacrificing aspect. Or like a little bit longer. Yeah, that should do it, because by the time their resolve gets negative, they will take a minute to leave the settlement, and that will not happen anymore, because there's only 45 seconds until the end of the storm. Now, seems like our woodcutters are a bit on the slow side, meaning that I will move around this wood workstation out of the way and move the woodcutters a little bit closer to their final destination. Let's also remove the markings from over here and rather focus on the immediate vicinity of the glade. Beavers, I know you're not okay with the current situation, but please hang on a little bit longer. We will also get some newcomers soon that will help us build up the civilization of settlement. Now the storm is over. That is brilliant. And I would like to mark more trees so that the woodcutters can kind of go in the right direction and also have the permission to fell all the trees. Now, next options on the table in terms of cornerstones. First is flame amulets. This would decrease hostility from woodcutters by 12. That is something quite spectacular, because that would help us manage the hostility levels. We already hit hostility level 2. Given that we have 6 woodcutters at the peak times, then this gain is huge. But let's take a quick look at the other options as well. So leather gloves would give us +2 to reed production. Also, given we don't have too many reed, might be useful. Or trade logs, which would give us detailed notes on different traders and their wares. Gain one additional active trade route slot. Traders will arrive 25% quicker. I think there is no doubt which one is the winner. Let's go for Flame Amulets. Now we're back to hostility level 1 without much of an well, without any extra effort put in. And in terms of resolve itself, we can see everybody is relatively happy, even with the -5 global resolve from the Termite Barrow Glade event. Now, we also have some new potential villager applicants. And we have either an option between 2 humans, 1 beaver and 1 lizard, or 3 lizards. And I believe we will, of course, go for the higher number because every extra villager counts here. Yeah, they will bring along like goodies that are comparable with the coal and clay that we're giving up. So yeah, welcome. Welcome to Marchmellow. Now we have so many villagers that we can work with. I also see that one of them is without the hole. Let's fix that situation right away. We can also future-proof this a little bit. Build extra shelters for whoever else will be joining us in the future. Now I will move this woodcutter's camp a little bit more towards the glade. But I must admit the opening of the glade is taking quite a lot of time this time around. Because of the amount of trees that are between us and the glade itself. We don't have any new additional orders that we can choose at the moment. But we do have some workers that we can assign. So we don't have anyone at the moment dealing with the meat. One lizard was really keen on doing that. Then probably we want to switch around the worker and the carpenter because beavers like it more. We'll keep the beaver there. So they can produce both planks and tools as they go. We only have like 3 tools, but yeah, these nasty looking mussel sprouts, we need to focus on them once we open up the glade. At least there are a lot of mussel sprouts towards the northern part of the glade. So that's kind of leading us to our next dangerous glade as well. And the game is leading us in that sense. Now, how is the termite nest event going? So, looks like we have the additional access to 5 insects per minute. This is massive, especially given our current population. So let's move the termite nest a little bit closer towards our village. Everybody can have some food from there. Sounds a bit wrong. But also just take a look at all the insects crawling around. Now they're so close. The woodcutters are just like 1 tree away. The good thing is that we already finished our previous dangerous glade event, so we can breathe a little bit in between the events. How is our stockpile in terms of the incense? Do we have any? We have 10. This is like a really low number. It's not enough to solve an event. And when it comes to the next trader, there's still 4 minutes remaining until we get to see them or their wares. But they will be bringing us, well, raw food, basic resources, building materials, crafting materials, and a small number of blueprints and perks. They should be on time in case we need something for the glade. Now, we still have 6 free workers. Well, some of them are because they're supposed to be cutting down trees. So the beavers are doing it now. We might assign another lizard to deal with the food situation. And now we still have 3 workers free. I will give it the moment to see what's behind dangerous glade number 2. Can we start resolving the event right away so I won't have to reassign the workers all the time? Oh, lovely. We get some fertile soil. What else is there? There is also more insects. A large herb node. A large insect nest. Seems like this game really wants us to feed on insects for the whole time. And yeah, a bunch of fertile soil, and the event itself that we need to deal with is this. Let's close this notification here. The rain spirit totem flooding. It means that all the roads into the settlement will be destroyed. Let's pause for a second. And also, while this is active, villagers will start moving 30% slower. Nothing critical, but ideally we would avoid it. Now, we can either burn it down. We do not have the resources for this yet. But what we would rather do is probably perform the ritual, because hostility will be decreased by 50. All we need for that is, again, this incense we have been speaking about. Do we have access to any other type of production? I don't think so. So basically we want woodcutters to focus on the incense trees, don't we? We have some over here to the north side. And maybe we can kind of break through the northern side of the first dangerous glade so that they can also get access to the pink looking trees over there. And also, again, 2 medium abandoned caches. So these tools would really come in handy when it comes to getting reputation. Okay, woodcutters, please move towards this area. Kind of need you to hurry up and get us a bunch of incense. Ideally, we would not have to produce it ourselves. Do not open up glades for the time being. And I will just mark the trees that we want to focus on. Also, focus on the trees over here. Seems a bit bugged out. I will use the big marker here. And before we proceed, let's also take a look at the 2 new orders that we can pick. So we can either pick between cups and glasses, which means, again, delivering ale and having a tavern, or lost knowledge, which would expect us to deliver 3 ancient tablets for some temporary gains like training gear, pies and jerky. We'll be going for ale again this game. It does rely on us getting the tavern though, which is, you know, luck based stuff. Let's just quickly consider this. Because the ancient tablets, were they like a reward in one of the previous orders? No, they were not. So we'll just go for the ale and hope we get lucky. We can probably sacrifice one of the orders, or well, play around with one of the orders so that if we don't fill it, we'll still be able to establish the settlement successfully. Now, open or send caches or royal gardens. And I think open or send caches would be the choice here because of the extra villagers, parts. Of course, the wildfire essences are also good, but I think we're more eager to go for the rewards provided by the opening or sending caches. Plus also we get to open or send caches, you know. Okay, so the extra villagers that are builders didn't get any assignments for the time being. So the humans will be redirected. And I think we'll make a makeshift post. This will give us access to being able to trade. We'll turn it around a little bit. Now the makeshift post can make packs of provisions. And probably want to make them out of, well, unfortunately, insects. Let's limit it though, like 21 though, so they don't make them infinitely. Because food will still be an issue if we use up all of the food for just trading purposes. Now, one more worker. So we have somebody working on the reed. We do not have anyone on the stone yet. Actually, there is a human that seems to be at least assigned to dealing with the stone, but not really doing anything. So we have one worker for every workstation. At least one. We have this luxury of basically having one more builder on some, assigned to some sort of a post. I'm thinking let's just do 2 humans for the crude workstation for the time being. Because if we look at the stockpiles, then we have 10 fabrics and 16 bricks. We want those stockpiles to go up to 30 ideally. Okay, it seems like we're in a relatively good situation. But when it comes to choosing some next blueprints, then plantation also comes into play. Just because of this fertile soil that we just found. And the other thing I'm thinking about is this trapper's camp, and why exactly is because there's some meat over here that we could grab. And also some insects from this large worm tongue nest. The good thing is we have like a lot of positive options to choose from. So not yet struggling with food, but we should make some choices. And I think we'll make the fertile ground work. So we'll make the choice of plantation for this from these blueprints. And now we get access to the butcher, stamping mill, provisioner, or the beaver house. The beaver house could be considered a good choice because we need to have the beavers happy. One of the orders is expecting us to have like 24 beaver is all, but using up one blueprint for that seems excessive. Now, when it comes to making flour, there are two options on the table. And the flour can be made out of... Actually, we don't have anything to make the flour out of. And we'll be back in a bit. First of all, let's make this plantation. We'll make it here so it covers all of the fertile ground. Also build the farm field so the lone builder has some work to do. And now we just need to wait a little bit more because everybody's working. The incense is coming in slowly. We already took down all the pink trees on this side. There's one more remaining. Maybe it will give us one more incense. There is no incense available. Well, actually, there is two more in this woodcutter's camp. Yeah, I'll move this, like the woodcutter camp on the eastern side a bit higher so they would start already chopping in the right places. Please do not chop this tree. It is not pink to my knowledge and will give us no incense at all. Now, the trader that came to visit us. What can you offer us? They do have some tools. But we also have to keep in mind we don't have much to trade with, so... When it came to resolving this event, I don't think they are providing us with anything useful. Yeah, unfortunately. It's like the traders are just not on the same page with us at the moment. Would be nice to have this Viceroy's survival guide for extra food production speed. But we're not in the situation where we can afford that. What we can do is just trade some wood for, let's say, tools. It's just one tool. Let's at least grab 2 tools. So please adjust the wood accordingly. Yeah, so we have 5 tools. Not enough for opening up one of the caches. We have like 1, 2, 3. All of the caches are medium ones. So, and every one of them requires 15 tools. It's okay, we'll patiently wait. Now, our hostility has quietly grown back up to 2. This is a bit of a problem because it will drag our villagers' resolve down quite a lot. We can remove, of course, 1 woodcutter to help with this. And then also consider building another hearth somewhere to just get rid of the problem in the long run. Now we can also do our trade. No, well, we're not going to be trading away our parts, are we? So no good trades at the moment. Let's close a few of these notifications here. Yeah, we'll have to get rid of one of the woodcutters. While we, actually, is it 2 woodcutters? That's unfortunate. I'll move this woodcutter camp also closer to where we want to go. Now everybody seems to be relatively happy, which is a good thing. We have like 4 minutes and 40 seconds before we should start with this glade event. We're not even close in terms of the incense. So we might have to suffer the consequences of losing all of our roads. We'll have to build them back up. That should happen. Now, when it comes to this plantation, I would keep it mixed in terms of what they produce. But we do want to have 2 humans working on this, so I will remove 1 human again from the crude workstation. Sorry, we're about to finish up with the bricks, but right now is the perfect time to kind of prepare for the upcoming drizzle season and start planting crops. Before that, you need to plow the fields properly so that it can be more productive in the future. Now we got into the zone that I'm expecting us, well, expecting to give us a lot of the good stuff, meaning the incense. I guess I marked the trees relatively well. Let's use the small marker to grab the ones in the middle as well. So now we just have to hold, well, cross our fingers that we get the right amount of incense. Also some pink trees on the left side here.